Hi everyone, Tanna here with your Feel Good Friday message, and I'm talking to the caregivers again today, and today I'm focusing on self-medicating, primarily with food. I'm coming from my kitchen with my veggie and fruit wreath, which I love so much, and this cool tray that my husband gave me. Thought it was a good place to talk about self-medicating with food. Now, when you're a caregiver, depending on the level of care and the time required or the time that you're committed to caring for somebody, it can be kind of isolating and limiting to you in many areas of your life. It can limit your work that you're able to do, the socializing, your relationships, just your freedom in general. And I've had increasing levels of isolation and loss of freedom. And unfortunately, I can't maintain all of the relationships that I used to. And it can be kind of depressing and lonely. And we're going to talk about isolation in another video. But today I'm just going to talk about how we cope with that a lot of times. And self-medicating can become a big comfort to a lot of people. And it could come in the form of alcohol or drugs. But I think I might be wrong, but I would just guess that most people in my situation, you turn to food because it's easy, it's there, you have to eat every day, excuse me, and it's a nice way to make yourself feel better. And I've been through different levels of this over the years. I've had weight issues throughout my life, but for the most part, I've been pretty even with my weight. I've kind of maintained the same weight since I was about 15. And I've gone through my ups and downs, and if it went up, I was like, "Oh my God!" And I did something to lose it. And in the last, I would say, 7 years or so, I've been increasingly turning to food to comfort me. And also, that started around the time where I had a back injury. I fell and sprained my sacrum, and it took over a year to heal. So I couldn't move as much as I used to as well. But with my mom just being here and being primarily at home, taking care of her, I also made her gluten-free about 4 years ago, which has been tremendous for her health. She dropped about 40 pounds immediately, but the house is pretty much gluten-free. Still have flour for when I make cookies or something for myself, but I was trying to eat gluten-free as well. So while I was turning to food more for comfort, I was trying to do it in a healthy way. So I was looking up all these different recipes like gluten-free cupcakes because cake is my favorite food in the whole world. And my husband is always getting me cupcakes on the weekends, and sometimes I've had him do it a little too often and overdone it, but it's hard to resist. And there were times when I would turn to food during the day and think, "Oh, this is going to make me feel so much better." And sometimes I would just do things like make cookie dough and just eat it, just because the thought made me feel good. And I actually found myself thinking sometimes, sugar is my friend. This is going to be so much fun to eat. And it was. But I gained weight. I've gained about 10 pounds over the past 7 years. And it's been really hard to get off just because I haven't been able to stick to an eating plan. And I've been kind of hard on myself, trying different, I don't want to say diets, just eating plans. I've tried the high healthy fat thing. I've done the bulletproof diet, which is kind of the same thing. I've tried limiting my calories and intermittent fasting and just doing 2 shakes a day and one meal. I've done so many different things, but none of them felt good and none of them really lasted. If I stuck with it, I felt completely deprived and it was so difficult to stick with it. And if I lost a little weight, then I'd be like, "Oh, yay, now I can splurge and congratulate myself." And then whoop, the weight went back up. But the point is, I would continuously turn to food for comfort. And that was my form of self-medicating. I remember a long time ago when I was seeing my therapist on a regular basis, I used to get these cans of Hershey's fudge. I don't even think they make this fudge anymore. It was so good. It had a picture of a sundae on the cover. It was a yellow can, and it was like this thick, thick fudge. And I used to make what I called dry sundaes. I would have the fudge, and I would put peanuts on it and whipped cream. So it was basically a sundae with no ice cream. And I told my therapist one day, she's like, "Oh, so you're self-medicating?" I'm like, "I'm just eating chocolate and whipped cream." I'd never heard the term self-medicating before, but I understand it much better now. And I'm actually finding different ways to support myself because that's what we really need. We need some kind of support and comfort. And it's different for everybody, and everyone has different needs. And also, everybody has different resources financially and freedom wise, what you can get out and do, what you can bring into your home, what you can include in your life. I get a massage once a month. I have an amazing woman who comes here to the house, and I adore her, and I so look forward to that. I really need that. So that helps. And just working more on loving myself. I'm actually reading Anita Morjani's book. I think I mentioned this in another video. Uh, what if this is heaven? And it's about self-love and accepting yourself and having compassion for others. Because in this world, you can also get frustrated and resentful to the other people in your life who maybe aren't helping you in this situation or aren't giving you much help or just kind of turning their backs and like, la, 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 you're doing a great job, and just kind of leaving you to do it. So there's so many emotions that go on in this situation, and there's so many different ways to deal with it. And each one of us has to find a way that works best for us. And if food is your thing, I want to say find something that makes you feel good and just try to keep a balance and make sure that you are getting nutrients that you need and excuse me, not overdoing it too much, because we can get to that place where it's like, I don't care, I'm just going to eat whatever and I'm just going to gorge. And because there's also that element of the emotional aspect where you just want to stuff your feelings. And so you're literally eating your feelings and you just keep eating crap because it tastes so good at the time, and you eat to the point of making yourself sick, and then you feel gross, and then you're beating yourself up because you ate so much crap. And like me, you might end up gaining weight, and then you don't feel good about yourself because you feel heavy and you don't feel as attractive and you can't move as well. It's heavy. But we also have to keep in mind that weight is protection. So you might feel helpless in your situation, and this weight might be the protection that you are unconsciously putting on yourself to protect yourself and help yourself deal with the situation and just cope with it and move through it in the best way that you can. So, I've done a lot of work on this with my coach Maura, who's also my friend, and talked about this. And there are times when I have to reel myself in, and there are other times when I just have to kind of ease up and be like, okay, this is my situation. It's not going to last forever. But if this is going to comfort me and soothe me for the moment, then I'm going to be okay with it. And I've finally gotten to a place where I've found an eating plan that works for me, because I try to be so strict. I'm just very, very hard on myself. And especially because I'm a holistic health consultant, I know what I should be eating and what I should be avoiding. And if I eat something that I wouldn't recommend to other people, then I feel guilty and I feel like a hypocrite because I'm not doing what I would recommend to clients or anyone else who is looking for advice on nutrition. But again, I just have to find what works for me in the moment and helps me cope and soothes me. So, what soothes you? What helps you? And maybe if it's food, you can find the best possible version of what you're craving. And also ask yourself, is it a substitute for love or affection or attention? And maybe find other ways to get that. Maybe there are people in your life that you can say, hey, you know what, I need extra hugs right now. I need you to come visit with me. I need you to just spend some time listening to me while I share what's on my mind so that I feel supported. Because food can also provide support. It's always there for you. You always have access to it, and it can feel like your friend. Like I said before, like sugar's my friend and food is my friend. It's always there for me. And you can eat it and feel comforted. And maybe you can get that comfort and support from somebody in your life. Or maybe there's a support group. Or, there are online groups too. If you can't get out, like it's hard for me to get away physically to any kind of support group, maybe you can find a community online who identifies with your situation that you feel connected with and supported by. So don't beat yourself up, please. This is not about you got to stop self-medicating. If you are, there's a reason you are. You need some help, you need some support. So if that's your way of dealing with it right now, then I say just do your best and find the least horrible thing, the least harmful, negative way of getting your need met. And I remember one time I actually made cookie dough out of all coconut products, coconut flour, coconut sugar, coconut oil. It was good, and I think I'll either use dark chocolate chips or carob chips, or I actually have dark chocolate chips sweetened with stevia. So I've tried all different healthier versions of the quote unquote bad food that really is my biggest comfort food, my biggest source of comfort foods. Sometimes that'll work for you. But just please be easy on yourself, because beating yourself up and looking at yourself in the mirror and thinking, oh, I'm gross and I have no control and I'm fat and I can't lose this weight. And I'm too tired to exercise, or I don't have time to exercise. I just don't have the energy to cook healthy meals or eat well or research or figure out what I need to do. Please be easy on yourself and just take some time to get quiet and go within and go, what do I need right now? And really try to focus on and figure out what that is. And if you need some kind of support, if you really need some food, a specific kind of food, then give it to yourself and just, try to practice portion control and keep it in moderation. But, like I said, I've done that thing where you want more and more and more because you just can't get satisfied. You just can't get filled because you're not fulfilled in other areas of your life. So you're looking to fill yourself up. But what I have found when I'm in that place is if you can just stop at a certain point and walk away, usually in about 10 to 15 minutes, you're like, oh, okay, I'm fine. I don't need any more. But there are other times where I've got something in the kitchen that I'm like, no, I'm not going to touch it right now. And it will be calling to me. It's like, Tanna, come eat me. And if it keeps calling to you, then it's going to drive you nuts and you probably need to give in. But just remember to honor yourself enough not to do that all the time and realize that it's not ultimately serving your well-being. And you want to find ways that are more beneficial, more fulfilling outside of food, and try to look at food as energy and the nutrients that you need for your body to nurture your body instead of just comfort. Comfort once in a while is fine. We all go through that, and you got to give yourself that. I kind of feel like to me, life wouldn't be worth living if I couldn't have cookie dough or cake once in a while, but I wouldn't live on it because I actually would feel like crap. And so would you. But a lot of people do live on that stuff. So just think about other ways that you can nurture yourself, get your needs met, feel fulfilled, filled from the inside out. Who can you call on to give you support and the love and the attention that you are looking for from food or alcohol? And remember, you can substitute whatever you're self-medicating with food. If it is alcohol or drugs, it's the same thing. You're turning to that for the same reason, to comfort yourself, to feel better. And that's what it's all about. It's about feeling good. And whatever we do, we think we will feel better in doing it. And that's why we do it. So think about what would make you feel better. And I think you'll find yourself making different choices, healthier choices, while still allowing yourself an indulgence to comfort and support yourself every once in a while. So if this is an issue for you, I hope this helped you a little bit, because believe me, I get it. I'm right there with you. I'm in the same boat, and I'm trying to navigate this whole journey and find the balance and what works best for me on a daily basis. And do that too. Take it one day at a time, because if you put down some strict rule for yourself, like, okay, from now on, I'm going to do this or I'm not going to do that, that's too much pressure and you probably won't stick with it. That is just too harsh for you. And you do not need that when your life is already restricted and stressful. So please be easy on yourself and take it one day at a time. And when you get up in the morning, just say, I'm going to do the best I can today. I'm going to take care of myself the best way I know how. And whether that's moving your body somehow, or focusing on loving yourself, or thoughts that make you feel good. And if it's thinking about a meal that you want, a specific meal, and it makes you feel good, think about it ahead of time and imagine yourself enjoying it and then being done and fulfilled when you're done. And that's enough. And if you can practice portion control, it's a little easier to eat a little bit more of what you want because you're not picking out so much, and you can definitely manage that way and stay healthy that way. So I want to thank you for joining me once again. And if you are a caregiver, I want to especially thank you for joining me because we have to support each other and we're all in this situation together. And it makes me feel good to give you some support since that's my situation right now. And I want to thank you for staying with me through these messages while I'm sharing my experience. And one day this won't be my experience anymore, but right now it is. And if my experience and what I've been through helps you a little bit, then I'm really glad. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoy these videos every week. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Leave your comments below. If you would like these videos delivered straight to your inbox every Friday, jump over to my website, tannamarshall.com, and get on the mailing list. You'll get a free gift and a little message from me every Friday with these messages. So with that, I just want to wish you a great weekend and just think of ways that you can nurture yourself and support yourself. And if it's with food, then you know what, go for it and just try to do it in the best way possible. And if you can find another way to support yourself and nurture yourself and have some fun and feel fulfilled, then do it. And I'm here to support you and give you support and help you find ways to fulfill yourself every Friday. And thank you because you're doing the same for me. So be good to yourself, and I'll see you next time.